Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It is Marvin speaking. Just a basically AI overview of the Skyline webcams, off of which I'm reading live webcams in Tenerife, providing views of various locations like Plaza de España in Santa Cruz, Los Gianti Cliffs, and the Puerto Colon Harbour. These webcams offer a glimpse of the island's vibrant atmosphere, stunning scenery, and bustling tourist destinations, including beaches like Playa del Dug and activities like whale watching. Specific locations and features: Santa Cruz del Tenerife, Plaza de España captures the lively atmosphere of the city square, including the iconic Cimento or Los Queados and the artificial lakes with views of the sea and city skyline. Los Gigantes featured the impressive 600-meter high cliffs and the marina, offering views of La Gomera Island and sunset. Puerto Colon shows the largest nautical sports centre on the island, with boats, jet skis, catamarans, as well as Playa La Pinta Beach. Playa del Duc focuses on the popular golden sand beaches and the coastal walkway connecting to the other beaches. Royal Delphin Catamaran allows live viewing of whale and dolphin watching excursions. And like I said, I think some of these cameras were in action in the Jay Slater case as well. Los Cristianos, featuring live views of the beach and town, including the Golden Mile with its upscale shops and restaurants. Costa Adige offers views of various beaches and the general atmosphere of this area. Las Fiscal Beach showcases the beach and the surroundings. Playa del Fanabi provides view of the beach and surrounding areas, including the Barracano del Inferno hiking trail. CM Park offers views of the famous water park. Obviously, Los Cristianos would be interested in. Los Giantes, of course, and Santa Cruz de Tenerife, Playa de España as well. I mean, España, there's so much information there, but they're a private company, this Skyline. Ali Harris has looked into them before, so that's quite interesting, to be honest with. And I'm going to go move on to part two, why I'm doing this, because obviously, we need to go back through missing people that's happened over the months. I think that's quite important and why I'm actually doing this. For those who are new to the channel as well, we have done, myself and Ali have done missing people's videos and reports over the last sort of couple of years, basically on missing people in Tenerife. And, sometimes, some people being found dead or hurt or violated and, have been saved or found up there. But like I said, I think it's a major concern and I think it should be put out there. Welcome back to part two, people. This is a article on the missing people. I think I've put it up before, to be honest with you, but I'll let you know where it was from so people can look for it. Let me just go back to the top a second. 1 minute. It's by the Independent, and the vanished of Tenerife, other people who disappeared on the island where Jay Slater went missing. But obviously, we know that case has come to a close, but still going to be discussing it and Tenerife, because I do think that there's still a lot which we don't know about, and that's just why I think this case is going to go on. So this was Billy Bennett. Billy Bennett vanished from his holiday in Tenerife at the end of 1985. The 8-year-old was last seen on the 1st December of that year, 85. The teenager from Holborn, London, had planned to go to Tenerife with a friend, but he dropped out at the last minute, and Mr. Bennett went ahead alone. He is known to have stayed in Las Americas Resort and was regularly spotted at the Sergeant's Pepper's nightclub. Mr. Bennett's friend flew out later with his girlfriend, insisting he only met up with Billy a handful of times. On one occasion, he claimed Mr. Bennett seemed rather the worse for wear, saying that he had lost all his money and had nowhere to stay. And obviously, this was one mad story, Ricky Dakota. Basically, there is a documentary on him, and he was another Londoner, and he disappeared in Tenerife in 1987. So Londoner Ricky Dakota went to Tenerife in March 1997 for the 80s club scene and never returned. The 20-year-old worked in Sergeant Pepper Disco Pub in Playa de las Americas Resort. Dakota last contacted his family in October 97 when he rang to say he would be coming home soon. His family has heard nothing from him since then, but it said that he was murdered out there. I think someone, a friend or family member who was looking for him, got that information from a source who didn't want to be known. Shortly after he disappeared, Mr. Dakota's passport and a bag were handed to the police. A 2001 Channel 4 documentary looking for Ricky revealed that 5 identified bodies were found, one of which could have been Mr. Dakota, but DNA tests using samples from his family proved inconclusive, with Mr. Dakota's best friend alleging he was murdered after a planned robbery of local rug barons went wrong. There you go. There you go. It says it all. And the police aren't going to come out and just basically say that, are they? The documentary explores possibility sightings, including one where he was allegedly wandering the island hotspots claiming to be Jesus. So technically, a lot of people said he was losing his head a little bit. Another report is citing that he was wearing an expensive white suit, and another in South London clothes shop. Despite searches and appeals, his mother and sister were said to remain in a limbo between grief and hope. Mr. Cotter not being found. Kevin Ainsley from Lancashire has been missing for exactly 20 years this month. He was 24 when he went missing in June 2004 in Tenerife after moved to the tourist area Playa de las Americas in March of this year. He worked as a promoter at the Sportsman's Bar and popular area known as The Patch. I'm just reading this article, basically it was in 2024, people, so people don't get mixed up with dates. Mr. Ainsley had been out to the bars and clubs with a friend before having a meal in Merlin's Chinese buffet restaurant. The last confirmed sighting of Kevin was walking towards the Sportsman's Bar after eating the same night. France beat England 2-1 with an injury time penalty in the UEFA European Championships. When Mr. Ainsley failed to turn up for work, his friends raised the alarm with the police and his family in the UK. His personal belongings and passport were later found in his apartment. In 2016, an interview with the BBC, his sister Gemma Brooks said the family was desperate for answers. Wow, all that time later as well. And obviously 10 years has passed since that interview. It is no exaggeration to say we have been put through 12 years of hell, she said at the time. Somebody must know something. They always do. Described as an approximately 5 to 10 inches height, medium build, with blue eyes, brown hair, brown short hair. Mr. Ainsley was wearing a dark t-shirt and blue LSE tracksuit. Distinctive tattoos on his arms include the name Kevin, a little devil, and a Native American woman. In 2005, 2 officers from Lancashire travelled to Tenerife to help local police search, but were unable to discover any substantial leads. They appear to anyone who may have witnessed a possible altercation between Ainsley and door staff in the Caf del Moor in the early hours of the morning. Vanished. Terrible at the end of the day, but nobody's going to really talk because it'll mean their business, and there's so much mafia out there as well, and a lot of different cartels. Peter Wilson. Remember reading about this? Father of 2, Peter Wilson, took one wrong turn on his way home from a night out in Tenerife. Then his body lay undiscovered for almost 2 years. Peter travelled to Tenerife in March 22nd, 2019 from Dublin, checking into a Malibu Park hotel, Costa DJ in Santa Cruz. The next day, he went to a nearby resort, Playa de las Americas, to watch the Ireland versus Gibraltar game. He returned to his hotel in the afternoon before getting a taxi back to the tourist hotspot that evening. Mr. Wilson was last seen close to where the taxi dropped him off before seemingly vanishing. His personal belongings were found in his room. His distraught family launched a Facebook group often travelling to the Spanish island in a desperate bid to find him, with fears he was being kidnapped or murdered. His body was eventually found. After it emerged, he fell down a steep drop next to a shopping mall. We've heard a lot of this, haven't we? People sort of going down steep drops. His heartbroken mother, Jackie Wilson, said from the Irish Sunday Mirror in 2021, on January the 11th, my nephew called to tell us that human remains has been discovered in Tenerife. No words can describe the utter devastation and heartbreaks we felt days as we always held that little glimmer of hope that he would walk through the door. The hope was dashed, but after the shock, there was great sense of relief that finally, after nearly 2 years of searching, we would get to bring him home. Peter's death was a sort of a tragic accident, no foul play suspected. To that, big relief to us. He obviously got disorientated along and lost his way. Yeah, definitely. But we don't know what he was given, rugs or anything like that. I do think that is the end of that one, but I will put some more cases up, people, in part 3. Thank you. There he is, Peter Wilson. Such a shame, really is. Welcome back to part 3, people. And this was the missing case, which I found it was very, very strange. Irishman Ryan Cooney, who went missing basically in Las Americas in November 2023. And it says he disappeared on the Spanish island, and obviously the glimmer of hope. This was before a couple years ago, year ago or so, for the Slater family. But the Dulac Commonwealth native, who was 28 years old at the time, was last seen leaving his accommodation at Paraiso del Sol Apartments in Playa de las Americas, November the 9th, 2023. Family members travelled to Tenerife to help the search with friends and the local police. When Mr. Cooney first went missing, a friend who was understood to be holidaying with him said in a social media post, "Ryan, please, you have me very sick. I told you everything will be okay. Please just come back." Ryan wasn't seen for days until he was eventually found safe and well 4 days later on the Monday, November the 13th. However, Mr. Cooney had 2 black eyes after an alleged assault, which also resulted in all money being taken along with his mobile phone. And I'm sure that he was taken up for mountains and up to the mountains. And it's said that someone called Lucy had set up a GoFund for him to find him. The other worrying thing is, which made me think a lot as well, is there organised crime in these apartments, watching people come in and leave, and basically seeing whether they can rob them or not, especially if this guy was staying alone in his apartment and his mate was staying somewhere else. That's a massive possibility, because I do think there's a lot of setups which are going out there. It's just reading into them carefully what the hell is going on outside here. But like I said, if you look at a lot of these cases, they're very, very similar, and it's just how much the police take this serious as well. Let me know what you think, people. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment, as we're trying to sort of give people safety in going to Tenerife, that they are going to be safe there. So by talking to the Guardia Civil in what they do, if someone gets robbed and what's going to, let's actually listen to what they've got to say. It's all right, listen to it on videos, but I want to look into it myself, because I want to make sure that young people are safe out there, and that basically are not going to end up the way Jay Slater did. And I mean, this Ryan Cooney got lucky at the end of the day, but I reckon he was set up, and some of those people I think we know due to other cases that we've looked into. Thank you. Do subscribe to Streamline Entertainment and follow the channel. Appreciate you all. Thank you very much indeed.